What's up gamers, my name is Alex and welcome to my channel. If you have been around the channel for any amount of time, you've probably seen that my videos get about 3 to 5 views total, and it goes nowhere. But yesterday, one of my videos got 5,500 views. It's this one, which should be playing here. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I made it. So the first part was the hardest. I had to go outside and touch grass. I know, difficult for many to do, but I managed it with a considerable amount of effort. I had to stand up and everything. But yeah, once that was done, I could get into the fun stuff. So this is Blender. It's my animation software of choice, mainly because it's free. So let's start from the beginning, which would be, if I can find it, this plane, the ground. We needed somewhere for the scene to start, obviously. So create this plane, pretty easy. You just press Shift and A and then add a plane. And if you saw the video, you'll notice there's a bit of texture on this plane. If we bring the light back in, you can see. And there's a little bit of texture. Now this is just a random noise texture. If we come up here and go to the shader editor, then go to this object, and you can see the shader is super simple. So what a shader is in Blender is it's pretty much the texture and the effects. It's more than just the texture, like how shiny an object is, anything like that, for the object. So what I did was take this principled BSDF, which is pretty much a catch-all. It can do everything. Plug it into the material output, which is the plane. And then I took this noise texture. I made the scale pretty big. You can see if we adjust the scale, or we go down, you can see it gets massive. And then roughness, you don't want too little roughness, but you want a little bit, just so it's a little less solid. A bit of distortion, like with no distortion, it looks like this, which is, I mean, this could work. But this looked fine to me as a carpet texture, because that's pretty much all it was. And then if we go back to the camera view, you can see I animated the camera like this. So the camera falls in from the top, sits, gets picked up, looks around, and that was too fast in my opinion, but it worked for the video. And then looks down and I say the word shit to end the video, which I thought was quite a funny outro. All of this just kind of came to me in my head, and I was like, yep, that's what I'm doing, and I did it. There's no real like brainstorming or thinking process behind this. I just make these things because they're fun. So obviously we got the camera animated. Now this isn't going to be a tutorial onto how to animate the camera, but all I really did was I went into the graph editor, and you can see this is the, where is it, the Z location. So here is the camera at the top, and as you can see, as this goes down, it falls to the ground, stays up, goes up, looks around, and then you can do the same with the X location, the Y location, the rotations, and that creates the look of the camera, falls to the ground, then the focus happens, gets picked up, and it looks around. Pretty simple. Obviously it took me, this is probably the longest part of the process, because I didn't really have a clue of how to do this. But once I got it figured out, I mean, I've been using Blender on and off for about 3 and a bit years, maybe longer. I don't really remember. I'm not good at it by any frame of reference, but there are people out there who are amazing, and I watch their videos and sometimes steal their ideas, such as Cam Pixels, whose backroom stuff really popped off this last year. So obviously this doesn't look like the backrooms, so I had to add some walls. And the walls are also super simple. It's just a cube that I've stretched. And if we turn the lights off and go rendered view, I mean, there's nothing visible because we're inside. But there isn't even a material on this, I don't think. No, there's no material. It's just default white. And why I left it like that is because I like to make my things quick. I do daily uploads. Not everything's done in Blender. Some of it's just a gaming video that I think is funny. Let's bring the lights back. But just having this white wall texture, I mean, you can imagine an office, it's going to have white wallpaper, it's going to be quite sterile, and then the backroom's yellowy vibe comes from the lights, which these are panel lights that are just literally, I'll keep it rendered. These lights here are just literally, again, planes that I've tiled using, using the array modifier. So if I just you can see here we've got the 1. And then I tiled it once, so there are strips of 2, tiled it again, so it's 4, tiled it again, so we got a nice row of them across the room. Now they're not even centered, you can see they just sit there, but that's fine. This is a quick video. People aren't going to be... It's not like it's a Marvel level production. People aren't going to be poring over every frame, like noticing that I didn't bevel these edges, which looks unnatural. But it doesn't look unnatural when you're watching it on your phone on TikTok or watching it for like 13 seconds total, and this was about 6 of them. You're not going to notice these tiny things because it's a lot more work than is needed just to sell the idea of I touched grass, I clipped through, I landed in the back rooms. So obviously the camera. Then the other thing we're missing are these walls, which are again just cubes. Just threw some cubes in there. This is just the rest of the cube, the bigger cube for the building. You can't see anything in there, so that's fine. Don't need to add more detail back there. Obviously, yeah, if I'd beveled the edges, it might have looked a bit more realistic, because obviously you get the lights bouncing. But again, the whole concept of the back rooms is something you've no-clipped into. It's a bit of a video game type concept. So the only other thing that I did which was interesting was, if we go into solid view, you'll see this thing here. Now this thing is just an empty, which is like an object with no properties, effectively. It's just a point in space for our use case here. And what I did was I clicked on the camera, and I go to the camera settings, I do believe, and then depth of field, focus object, and it's this empty that you can see up here. You can't see up there because my face cam's in the way, but pretty much where my face cam is, there's an outline of all the objects in the scene. And this empty here, this little cross you're looking at, is called focus. And then while the camera's laying on the floor, it pans up or moves up, I guess, to these lights. I don't think it's going to actually show much of the focus in the rendered view, but you can see, there. So the room's out of focus, goes up here, the room's more in focus. The further away it is, the more in focus everything is. Obviously the foreground loses a bit of focus because that's how cameras work. Oh, another thing I should mention in the camera is I looked up my phone. It's the Galaxy S9, I do believe, and I looked at the focal length, 26mm, and the f-stops and all of that, and I just roughly put the values that were on the Samsung website into Blender, and it's so that this camera doesn't look like a completely different camera once I've, well, no-clipped into the back rooms. The other thing that I can think of now is the camera shake, which you can see down here, camera shakeify. So I actually animated all of these in. So when we fall, right here at the start, we're using the handycam run, which is, it gives a bit of shake to the camera. I can't really demonstrate it here, but one way I can demonstrate it here is, you see how this is off, but the camera's still moving a bit? It's very subtle, but the camera does move a little bit while it's on the ground. And then when we pick it up, it shakes around a bit. It looks around, and you can see these values are animated. If we go here, 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 and here, you can see how they fade in and out. Can I make this any taller? No. You can see falling, that fades out, and the I was going to call it thinner. The simpler one comes in where there's no or barely any shake. The handycam run, which is quite aggressive, comes in as we pick it up. And then the investigation, I believe, or is it the close-up we used? Yeah, the investigation here is like I'm holding it, but I'm a human, so I move around a little bit. And the camera shakes a tad. And then you can see here, if I just play past here, you can see how the camera's still moving. I've not animated the camera here. This is the investigation on this plugin called Camera Shakeify, which you can get by Googling Camera Shakeify and going to their website. Or I could link it in the description, which I probably won't do because I'm lazy. So a few regrets, or things I could have added, I guess I wouldn't really call them regrets, would be there's no person in the scene. So you would probably, especially when the camera's facing like this way, the lights would have hit my body and casted a shadow here. And obviously, as you can see, there's no shadow here because there's no body in the way. Now, it's pretty easy to do. There's another plugin I use called... Can I click on that, please? Are you going to be able to see that? No, let's drag my camera over to the other side. Called... Oh, it's disabled. Shit. I think it's called MD Lab or MB Lab. And it's a plugin that lets you create a fully rigged character. Probably used for more character animations, but the way I use it is it'll whack a body into the scene. I can then pose the body, change all like the race, the eye color, the skin color, all the proportions of the face, the head. I can even add hair using Blender's hair system to create a realistic human. Now, I don't think I've done that in any of the videos that I've featured on the channel, because I'm lazy and I only feature the ones I really like. But it's something you can do, probably something I should have done. But overall, I think the video came out pretty well, given that camera falls from the roof after I've touched grass and no clipped in. Lens, focus pan, pick up, look around, face down. Let me say the word shit because it's funny. So that's the Blender segment of this done. I will show you what I did in Premiere Pro next. Alright, here we are in Premiere Pro, the only piece of Adobe software that I haven't pirated. Yay me. So, we start off with the clip of me outside, obviously. Walking around, get to the grass, touch the grass, and fall into the back rooms. Pretty simple. Now, I'm just going to say, someone mentioned that there was grass already. I said, is this clip down? Have I fucked this up slightly? I think I have. I have. I've somehow deleted part of the thing. Alright, this is getting cut out in post.
Nope.
Okay. Now I've solved that problem. You can see, I open the door. Someone mentioned this is grass. This isn't grass. This is like mold or something. Not mold. Like algae or whatever the fuck growing on the concrete. Just going to put that out there because it annoyed me. I couldn't have got a better time without that. Obviously, leave the room. Touch grass. And then fall into the back rooms. Now you hear all the Foley and sound effects I've used here. I made myself. Apart from this kind of noise, the what do you call them? Like the lights. That I stole from YouTube. So I'm not sorry. If you want to come and DMCA claim me, please do. I can always find a replacement. Anyway, so the transition that I made was I first film dissolved this, me touching grass into this, so there's like a bit of a, just this one frame really. It looks a little weird. And then I animated up here a zoom into the grass, and then used dip to black to dip this to black, and then we fall into the camera. This is only one frame long, so this is kind of useless. Fall into the camera, then you see the rendered scene from Blender. If you look here, or you look like here, you can see in the scene there's a lot of noise, and the way I write this off is it's camera noise. The lights are low, there's a bit of camera noise going. No, I rendered this at like 48 samples and denoised it. It's good enough for a 16 or what, 15-second YouTube video. So this noise of me falling, I rubbed the microphone with my hand, recorded it straight into Premiere Pro, and then just left it as what. Now, same with this, like the hit. I think I just whacked the microphone again, because I'm not going to spend hours looking for the correct Foley and sound effects online and dealing with copyright. If I can make the sound myself by licking the microphone, why not? You'll notice I'm looking over to the side. That's because I'm looking at myself in OBS. So I apologize about that. And then, obviously, as we fall in, we exponential fade in the hum from the lights. And then you'll notice this turn here, I actually reused this. It works, but I had it twice in a row initially for the turn back, but I just made another one because they take like, what, 10 seconds to make. I just rubbed my hand on the microphone because it's just like a stage mic that's taped to a mic stand. I can't use that because I just whacked I was moving the microphone while I was talking. That's probably been cut then.
Nope.
It's just a stage mic, like a handheld, rapper, karaoke, whatever you want mic, taped to an arm. So it's not like I'm fucking about with like, I mean, I'm sure you can do it on other microphones, but it's not an expensive one, so I don't mind breaking it. And then I can make this window a bit bigger now. We have, the second one where I rub the microphone. If I solo that, you can literally hear it's just me rubbing the microphone. And then we have shit. I say the word shit. Humor, right? I don't know. I think it kind of sells the video a bit. Like, it ties you see my hand, I'm real, things are happening, and then just me speaking at the end. I think that kind of ties it in that it's me that fell into the back rooms. I managed to no clip out yesterday, which was quite good. Just had to backwards long jump at the wall behind the wall over here. Just kind of went through there, backwards long jump, just managed to make it out. The walk home was quite a while though. Anyway, back on topic. I think that's about it for the explanation. The only other thing I obviously added was I ripped this 1 minute speedrun timer from somewhere on YouTube, which before the crop was obviously got a massive blue screen on it. I just cropped it out instead of trying to key or anything. I added the timer. It seems to be about right. It's good enough for any of these dumb memes. You'll notice the timer disappears when we hit the black, and then obviously I've completed the speedrun. I touched the grass. There's no need for the timer. I'm just explaining some of the creative decisions that I used in this. I really hope that my audio input capture was separate from my microphone. I didn't check that. Am I gonna have to re-record this whole thing? I hope not. If you're seeing this, I didn't have to re-record the whole thing. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let's transition. That's not the right transition. Thank you for watching. My name's Alex, and this has been how I made the most popular video on my channel, which was a 14 to 15 second long shitpost. I wish my other videos got more views. So, if you liked that, if you enjoyed this, subscribe, like. I'm going to put the original video there so you can give it some more views. I'm going to put my channel thing so you can click and subscribe there. It's also down there. It's red. If it's not red, don't push it, but if it's red, click on it. You can also like the video. If you like the video, that's good. Thank you. I don't know if it helps the algorithm, but I like watching the numbers go up. And obviously comment if you got any questions. I'll try and answer them in the comments, and maybe I'll create an FAQ if there's enough demand or questions in the description. Thank you for watching.